I've spent the last 20 years studying people's productivity and time management. And the most successful people have 5 common traits that they all follow that possibly is one of the reasons why they are successful. And so today I'm going to give you these 5 common habits or traits so that you can try and incorporate them into your life so that you can build a fulfilling and successful life in whatever way you define success. So let's get started with number 1. The first one is to know what is important to you as an individual. Now, this has got nothing to do with necessarily your work. It's your life level activities. So these include your family and relationships, your health and fitness, your finances, your career. It also includes things like your purpose in life, your self-development, and spirituality. There are 8 in total areas that you really want to be focused on. Define what they mean to you and then pull out the actionable steps that you can take on a daily or weekly or monthly basis in order to keep these in balance. This is actually a no-brainer. It's also a red line. If you're not doing this, then you have no idea what's important to you and you're going to drift. Drifting is the worst thing that could happen because that's when everybody else's priorities sort of become your priorities and you'll end up wondering, what have you done with your life? So one of the most important first steps to any productivity or time management system building is to define your areas of focus. Now, I have an areas of focus workbook. It's completely free. I'm not even going to ask you for your email address. Don't worry. I'll put the link to that workbook in the show notes below. Number 2 is similar to number 1 in that what you also need to do is to define what your core work is. Now, this again is a bit of a no-brainer because your core work is the work that you are employed to do. Now, if you don't do that job, how you are evaluated, whether you're considered for promotions and things like that, it's just not going to happen because you're not doing the work that you were employed to do. This is something that I'm surprised at how many people don't really know what their core work is, the work they're employed to do. Now, often people know what it is at a conceptual level. I'm an architect, I'm a marketing manager, I'm a manager of a sales team, and so on. That's the conceptual level, but you've got to go deeper than that. And this is what really successful people do, is they identify the key steps that they need to take to be the best architect, the best doctor, the best professor, the best marketing manager. They work out what tasks they have to do. And this is what I always say, define your core work and then identify the tasks that will enable you to do that work to the best of your ability. Now, if you can do this in 2026, I can guarantee that your promotion chances, your reputation within your industry is going to skyrocket because you're focused on the important things and are not going to allow yourself to be distracted by the unimportant things that come across sometimes disguised as being important. But when you know your core work, you can recognize those little cretins that will come along and try and distract you from the things that are so important. And I just believe I've used the word cretin, which I'm pretty sure is a Northern English curse word, but not a bad one, don't worry. The third one is plan your day and plan your week. Now, this one is something that, okay, when I first started with getting things done many years ago, the weekly review was practically impossible. It used to take me 2 hours just to do a weekly review. But in time, I came to realize that actually there's 2 distinct things going on here. When you plan the week, you're planning for the bigger things. It's a bigger picture thing. What are the objectives that you want to achieve next week? And we're only looking at the next 7 days. So what are we actually trying to accomplish over the next 7 days? The daily planning is actually the task level. That's when you're deciding what tasks need to be done on a daily basis. You're not looking too much at the tasks at a weekly level. Now, of course, there may be some tasks that you need to do next week, and by all means put them into your weekly planning. But really, you think of the weekly planning as the conceptual level. What are the things that I need to get done next week? Big picture stuff like this project needs to move forward. This chore needs to be done at home. I need to take the car in for a service. Oh, I need to book my annual medical checkup. That's a weekly level item. The daily planning is when you decide, okay, I'm going to go online and book my annual medical checkup. Oh, I'm going to drop my car off at the service center and get them to service the car. That's when you decide those things. And you can decide 1 or 2 days in advance based on what your calendar is. But the weekly planning is really about 4 things. Your core work, making sure that that's in the weekly plan. The projects or issues that need to be resolved on a weekly level. And then there's the personal things, the things that you need to sort out in your personal life. And then the special area called the radar. Now the radar is about looking ahead. So you don't necessarily need to do anything with it. You just need to be aware of it because it will impact some of the decisions you make that week. And then the daily planning is really just 3 things. Review your calendar to see how many appointments, meetings, etc. that you have that day. That will tell you how much time you have available to do the task, the things that you want to do. Then you look at your task list and you curate it. You remove things that are not essential today based on how much time you have, leaving only the important things. And then the final step is to prioritize that, which are the 2 things that you must do today and what are the 2 things or the rest of the things that you'll try your best to get to. Now that is something I've noticed pretty much every successful person I've ever come across or even ever read about. They never miss their weekly and daily planning. They always have a very clear idea about what it is they want to get accomplished that day. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Now, the 3 ones I've given you so far are probably no-brainers. You probably know about these already, and perhaps quite a few of you are already doing it. The 4th one, however, is where I find so many people fall down. And it's not really their fault. It's a human condition that's causing the problem. But the super successful people are ruthless with their calendar. They will never delegate it to anybody else. It's theirs, and they protect time like it's just going out of fashion because it is the driver of all your time management and productivity. It's not your task manager or some superb notes app. They're just little things that support you. The one productivity tool that really has control over your time and ultimately your productivity is, of course, your calendar. But you've got to be ruthless with this. If you come across a day where you've got 3 or 4 meetings at the same time, well, you cannot be in 3 places at once. Get rid of 2 of them. Decline 2 meetings. You can't be in 3 meetings at the same time. So you've got to choose ruthlessly. And that means deciding which of those 3 meetings would be the best for whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. But also it means protecting time for doing what I mentioned before, your core work. It's no good wishfully hoping that you're going to find the time to do the work that you're employed to do when you're always saying yes to meeting requests. No, that's not going to work. And this is one of the reasons why so many people fall down at this level, because they're not willing to say, no, I'm sorry, I have to finish my work on that day, or no, I have another appointment at that time. It's not difficult to say that, but this human condition I alluded to a moment ago is this condition that we want to please people. We don't like to let people down, and we feel if we reject a meeting or we say no to a meeting request, we are letting people down. Unfortunately, it might be true you're letting people down, but a bigger problem is you're letting yourself down. And that's why it's really important to get super ruthless with your calendar and just say no to requests that do not support your areas of focus or your core work. Because if you do that, just watch what happens to your productivity. But more importantly, watch what happens to your energy levels, because you're now focused on things that you know are truly important to what you're trying to accomplish and not distracting you from achieving those things. So this is the one, the number 4 is the one that I know where so many people fall down. And it's something that really is, I know, very, very difficult to do. But I can promise you it is worth doing, because this is how successful people go to super successful. They get serious about their calendar and they are ruthless with how they're spending their time. The final one is follow the principles. Now, the principles are not difficult. The principles are based around a concept I call COD: collect, organize, and do. And collecting just means that anything that needs your attention, anything that may even be of interest to you, you collect it into a trusted place. Now that could be a pen and piece of paper like this, you could just write it down there, or it could be a digital task manager or a pocket notebook. It doesn't matter how you collect these things. What matters is that you trust it. The second part is, at some point within the next 24 to 48 hours, you look at what you've collected and make a decision about what it is you have to do, and more importantly, when are you going to do it, based on the principle of being ruthless with your time. Now, if it doesn't fit with what you're trying to accomplish, then you've got to be comfortable deleting it. Now, I've always said that if you delete something like that, if it is important, it will come back anyway, so you can then redecide that you, okay, perhaps should put this into your system. But this inbox and the processing, this little bit there, that's your filter. That's where you filter out the unimportant from the important, and you only let the important stuff through. The final part to that is doing, which is connected to your calendar. So if you decided what it is, what you have to do with something, and when you are going to do it, then it comes back to your calendar, and you're looking at your calendar and deciding, okay, this is important, I need to do this. The question is, when are you going to do it? And that comes back to your calendar. Now, these principles of COD are universal. It doesn't matter what job you're doing, you're still going to have to collect stuff. At some point, you will need to organize that stuff, and eventually you're going to have to do it. So it doesn't matter what background, what position you're in, what job you're doing, whether you're a stay-at-home father or mother, whether you're a CEO of a big multi-billion-dollar company, the principles of COD are still there and they still apply. Now, the good news again is I actually have a completely free course that you can take on the principles of COD. And once again, I'm going to put the link to that in the show notes below. And there you go. Those are the 5 things that I have discovered after 20 years of research, probably longer than that, of what attributes or traits or habits that absolutely successful people follow. Now, that doesn't just mean business success. It doesn't mean people like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. It also means authors, artists, really successful people in their field. All of them share these 5 common traits. The first one is they know what is important to them, not just professionally, but in their personal lives as well. Number 2 is they are crystal clear what the work is that brings them the greatest reward, whether that's financial or creative. They are absolutely crystal clear on their core work. They know what tasks they need to do each day or each week that will give them the results that they are trying to achieve. Number 3, they are pretty much consistent with planning their week and planning their day. Without a plan for the week, it's like you're trying to find somewhere without a map, without using the navigation in your car or the old-fashioned maps that we used to use. You do need a weekly plan because that guides you towards achieving the things that you want to do. The daily planning is about confirming that you are moving in the right direction towards achieving those goals. The fourth one is about being really ruthless with how you manage your calendar. Less of the, yes, I will do that, and more of the, I'm not sure I have time, let me check. That's a much better response because it gives you time to be able to let them down gently that you're not able to do whatever it is that person is asking you to do. And seriously, people who are really successful are ruthless with their time. I'm reminded of Jeffrey Archer, the best-selling author. For 3 months, I think it's 3 months of the year between December and March, you cannot get a meeting with him because that is when he's writing the next novel. After March, you can have a meeting with him anytime. Well, if he wants to have a meeting with you. But you try and get a meeting between the 27th of December and the 28th of February. No chance. He is locked away in his writing room and he is writing every single day. It's the only way he's ever going to be able to get a book out each year. He is ruthless with his time. But you look at any successful person, they are ruthless with their calendar and how many meetings they have, how many appointments they have, and what they are committing to. And the fifth one is follow the principles. Now, the principles are really simple. Collect everything. Spend a little bit of time each day filtering out the noise, the unnecessary stuff, leaving you only with the important things, and then make a decision about when you're going to do the work. The principles of COD: collect, organize, and do. Now, I'm not suggesting that you suddenly change your life immediately and start adopting these 5 things. But it's worth going through them and thinking, well, I can make some changes here, I can make some changes there, and you can move towards adopting these traits, these habits, characteristics, so that you too can start making success in whatever field it is that you want to be successful at. So I hope you found this video interesting. If you want to learn more about that weekly planning, then here's a video that I would suggest you watch next.